What's up, everyone? SHAK here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is ahead of Dustin Poirier's final march at UFC 318 in his home state, of Louisiana, marching alongside Dustin and Lil Wayne. Isn't that a weird perk of the week? It's American Top Team coach Mike Brown. How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, that just came to mind. If we were to throw a dart, would it ever land on hanging out with Lil Wayne?
Pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
No, what's cool is, Dustin said it best. In his first fight, he walked out to Little Wayne, and on his last one, he's walking with Little Wayne, which is pretty impressive, man. It's really cool. Things have really come full circle, and he's become a huge star. And with all this success, it's everyone loves him, and it's been a beautiful career.
We just published a story today. In fact, you and I did a quick interview for it I don't even remember when, earlier this year, late last year. I've just been collecting statements from fighters about what Dustin Poirier's legacy is, and the deep wealth of respect that he commands, not just from his teammates, but even his opponents, I think speaks volume. But specifically about his teammates, like I remember talking to Johan at IFW last year and just like the admiration and the love that she has for him. How's the mood around the gym been ahead of this one, with so many people close to Dustin knowing that this is the finale?
Yeah, I mean it's bittersweet, right? Like it's bringing back a lot of memories. Everybody's sharing, some of those great moments, some of those highlights of his career that maybe there's been so many, sometimes you forget about how much he's done. And uh, it's really been a celebration of his career this past couple of weeks. And it continues, but there's still a job to be done. And that's what the focus is, Max Holloway on Saturday night. But everyone's excited for him. And yeah, no fighter has gained more respect than Dustin, right? This guy is like bled his way, to the top, right? Like with exciting fight after exciting fight. It's been an impressive run against the toughest guys too. His resume is incredible. The amount of like world champions this guy's fought and done so well against so many guys. It's very impressive.
I mean, there's a stat that I want to pull out if I can, now that you mention it, because I really think Dustin holds several records, and he's tied for some pretty remarkable
Yeah.
ones. But there was one that I saw today that absolutely stuck out to me, and I really think illustrates that even though he doesn't have some of those like traditional check boxes for a UFC Hall of Fame career, like winning the undisputed title,
Right.
he, in my opinion, is so much more qualified than a lot of UFC champions that we've seen come and go. And the one that I think illustrated the most is that he's tied for most finishes against current, former, or future UFC champions. He's finished 6 of them, and he
Wow.
shares that record with John Jones, George St. Pierre, and Amanda Nunes.
Wow. Wow. That's a good one. I have never heard that.
Yeah,
That's a great
well,
stat.
unless Wikipedia is lying to me, so no.
That's a great stat.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to give you one.
Another one that was similar that I remember that I was really impressed by. It might have been like, I think it was like fastest fighters to 20 wins in the UFC. And it was like GSP, John Jones, Anderson Silva, and him. He was like number 5 or something like that. He just literally was the greatest of the great. He had, and he didn't do it against low level guys, dude.
Hmm.
It was always against the highest level competition, like world champion level guys, almost every time.
Let's talk about one of those guys. We do have the trilogy coming up with Max Holloway. Obviously, both men are so far removed from the Max Holloway that Dustin actually welcomed into the UFC all those years ago.
Mhm.
But when you look at Max now in 2025 compared to 2019 when they fought for the interim belt, in what way has Max changed the most, and in what way is he still foundationally most similar?
I mean, every fight is so different. But I really think after that fight, he did develop quite a bit, and he actually started developing a lot more variety in his attacks. I mean, the most famous notable one was in the Cater fight, right? He threw everything at him, like stuff you had never seen come from Max before. Where traditionally he was, you knew it was coming. It was pretty much all hand attacks, right? But in the Cater fight, he threw everything at him. It was, punching, kicking, spin attacks, elbows. It was knees, everything. And I think the biggest thing he has now is a lot more variety to his offense, which it's tougher to read and tougher to see what's coming at you. But at the end of the day, he's a volume striker and with a good gas tank. That's what he does, and that's what he's been good at.
I was talking to Dustin earlier this week. This might be his last chance to pull off something legendary. Will you be more upset if Dustin attempts the gilly and fails to pull it off, or if Dustin gets the gilly and you have to spend the rest of your life dealing with the fallout of that?
No, I would love for him to get it. I would. I mean, that would be unbelievable, But we'll see. I the thing is, I don't think in this fight, I don't think it's in the cards. I don't think he'll be in position because I mean, typically that takes a guy shooting on him, right? I don't see
Mhm.
Max taking a shot, so I don't see any gilly attempts in this one, unfortunately. So I can't be too mad about anything. But I've told him literally 1,000 times to stop doing it. I do. I tell him in training every day, but he still jumps it. He doesn't listen to me.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, whatever he has listened to has gotten him this far, so I guess it's not all that bad.
Yeah, whatever he's doing is working. So
Absolutely. How do you anticipate this walkout's gonna feel for you?
emotional, 100%. Very emotional. Yeah, one of the biggest. Yeah, especially in his hometown,
Hmm.
right? In where he's from. He's so beloved. It's no, it's gonna be a big moment. I mean, all the pay-per-view main cards are electric, right? Like
Hmm.
there's something, there's a certain feel about a UFC pay-per-view main card that the crowd is electric. The music, the lights, the everyone's on their feet for every walkout. It is a lot of emotion going on with everyone. And this is going to be times 10 or more, right? It's going to be wild. It's going to bring out a it'll make the hairs on your neck stand up and you know get the adrenaline going.
You see it with coaches, but I don't often hear coaches talk about fighters the way you talk about Dustin. Where did this sort of like what is it about your relationship that's created this kind of kinship between you two?
Well, I mean, we've been together a long time. One, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't think I've cornered. I think I've cornered Dustin more than I've cornered anybody else. I think we've been together for 25 fights. That's. I've only been coaching since 2012, 2013, so it's not a ton of time. So that's pretty much max for me that I could have in that time period. So we've been together a long time, and we've always been close. When he lived in Florida full time, we hung out quite a bit, and uh, when he first moved there, I was still maybe competing. I think I might have had another fight or two when he was there, and we were at the same weight at the time. So we're also training partners for a
Mm.
short period until he started beating me up, and then I knew it was time to exit the sport. Right? I knew that was my signal to like these guys are monsters. They're coming, but yeah, no, I think it's he's like family to me, and uh, yeah, I think it's just a lot of time together.
Dustin's a really peculiar case. It feels like Dustin Poirier has been Dustin Poirier for as long as I've seen him compete. That's true outside of the cage. I also think it's true inside of the cage. Like we didn't see him, we saw him improve and develop, but he's never sort of strayed from the philosophies with which he sort of approaches his life or approaches his career. What do you think keeps Dustin so grounded in an industry that, I mean, I think probably the greatest example would be like a Colby Covington, an industry which can sometimes encourage people to act and behave and present themselves in ways for opportunities. Like, what's kept Dustin so Dustin?
I mean, I just think that's who he is. I think you sometimes I don't think you can help who you are. He's just himself. He's just wired that way. He's not going to be fake. And I mean, he said this to me, a handful of times way back in the beginning, that if I get to win a couple more fights to get to a title, I don't mind that. But I'm never going to be somebody that I'm not. I'm not going to, go talk some shit that isn't real to me, or be a character or wear a funny hat or whatever it might be. He's going to be himself. And if he's going to win more fights to get to a title, no problem. And that's what he did. And it did take him longer than the average guy, especially for how he was fighting. He was a killer and knocking dudes out left and right. Uh, and I believe the first time he fought for that belt was the second longest road ever to the title shot, second to only Bisping. And so he did it his way. He didn't play a character. He was quiet and humble and just did his job and beat people up, and eventually got there. But once he was there, then he was there to stay. And he got more than one shot, right? He got a few shots because his style and how good he was.
I'm in the process of writing a feature about how we're sort of waving goodbye to one of MMA's, at least on the top end, MMA's like last few heroes, last few good guys. I have no reason. No one has ever said anything that would make me suggest that Dustin Poirier is anything but authentic, anything but honest. However, and I will stand by this because I got some feedback during my interview with him from the comment section. He told me that hot sauce ice cream is good. I refuse to believe that this could possibly be true. Mike Brown, is Dustin honest in this one
I mean,
instance?
he's an honest guy. Maybe, I mean, everybody's taste buds are different. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good to him, but it doesn't sound good to me. I mean, I haven't had it, and I'm not a big hot sauce. I like a little bit of spice, but I can't take too much. I'm a pale skin, red hair. Obviously, I'm not built for that. This is not for me. This will kill me.
Listen, I love my hot sauces, but there's a time and a place, you know? Doesn't need to go on everything.
I hear you.
Unless you have Dustin Poirier's
I'm
hot
with you.
sauce,
I'm
then
with
it
you.
goes on everything. Okay, good. I'm glad you and I are
But
on
not
the
the
same page.
KO. Like the KO is too much. The KO is too much.
Fair enough. Have you tried it?
Yeah, yeah, I've tried them all,
Yeah,
but the
but
KO is like too heavy. The KO
yeah,
is like really spicy. The normal one is very good.
your complexion indicates as much, but you said it, not me, so please we'll leave it there. On that note, though, on the
All right.
more serious note of that feature, how much do you think Dustin's absence will be felt? Because not only do I consider him like one of the few good role models that we still have on the high end, um, I think he's also him and Max like one of a dying breed of American-born pay-per-view draws. Like I think people show out for him and Max in a way that they don't for a lot of American stars today.
No, I mean I think it's gonna hurt the company. I think that he's one of the biggest stars in the sport, without a doubt, right? I don't know all the metrics, but he's up there. He's got to be in the top two or three biggest draws, biggest stars when you're talking about American pay-per-view. So, I mean, and I think that's where a lot of the money's made. So, financially, I don't think it's going to be hard for the company, but that's the cycle, right? But he will leave, and a new star will grow and fill that void. That's the fight business.
I have asked you this before, but on the way out, I do think it's an appropriate sentiment to end on. When someone looks at Dustin Poirier's career, hopefully they're fortunate enough to witness it in real time. Maybe some new fans are going to have to take a little trip down memory lane. At the end of the day, what do you think the takeaway should be of who Dustin Poirier, the fighter, was?
A guy who fought with all of his heart, left it all out there, and put on a show every time he fought. You can't find a Dustin fight that was not exciting for even 1 minute. I mean, one of the most exciting, natural born fighters that I've ever seen. Uh, there are martial artists, there are athletes, and there are fighters, dude. And this guy is a natural born fighter, 100%.
Mike Brown
And that's
ahead of
and that's what
Dustin.
he'll
Oh, sorry.
remember. He'll remember that.
My
Go ahead.
apologies. Just
Yeah.
a bit of a lag there. One door closing this weekend, but Dustin Poirier isn't going anywhere. I'm sure the fans will get to continue seeing him a lot. I'm sure you and the team will as well. Ahead of Holloway versus Poirier 3 this Saturday. If there's anything you want to leave the people with, the floor is yours, Mike.
Nah, enjoyed the show. Last fight of a legend. He's going to be missed. Don't miss it.